Okay, everybody, let's finish this project off from week 6, and that is this animated character in Flash. Now notice in Flash I have all my still frames. In Photoshop I have all my layers which correspond to frames from a video that I imported by doing File Import into Photoshop, and that was in previous lessons we did File Import and import video to frames to layers, and that was really cool. And you can see here that I have all of the eyeballs on for my layers, and I've deleted the backgrounds, and I've got a layer corresponding with a shadow, and I separated the photographs of my son from the shadows, and I have it all in layers here. And then the layers I didn't use, I have the eyeball off, right? So we can't see those. So I have the eyeballs on in here, and this is called video to layers.psd. And of course I saved my work, right? Save. And now time to work in Flash. So I open up Flash. I'm just going to pick Flash File 3.0. And here's my Flash file. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Let's go to Fit in Window. Okay. And I'm going to say File, Import, Import to Stage. Okay, we'll see what happens now. All right, week 6, video to layers. There it is. I believe that this is, make sure this is the right class. Yes, Flash. And we're doing the same project in Photoshop, by the way. And I will double click on my video to layers.psd Photoshop document. So this is, I'm importing my Photoshop file. And then Flash says, okay, you want to import Photoshop stuff. Okay, how do you want to do it, right? And it gives me a dialog box on how to do this. So what I'll do is I have they're already checkmarked, which is good. And what I'm going to do is I'll say on the shadow layers, I'm going to do with the shadow layers that have transparency, I'm going to choose bitmap image with editable layer styles. And I'll change that right now. Thanks, no problem. And I'll go to this layer and do the same thing. And shadow layer, all the shadow layers, I'm going to change it to editable layer styles. So let's see here, shadow, and change that. I'm thinking that that will help my transparency come in for the shadows that I had done. So just switch all those. Bear with me. Shadow, change that. And of course, if you had a layer style like a, let's say you had some text that you had that had a drop shadow, or your character has a drop shadow or an outer glow, this is what you'd want to select. You'd want to select that layer where there's an outer glow, and you'd want to select this. Okay. And this one. That. Okay, I believe, and I can just look down and make sure that I've got them all, which I do. And I don't want to import the background layer, the red. I don't need that. And then at the bottom here, it says place layers at original position. Sure. Okay. And I'm just going to click, there's an OK button here. It's off screen, but I'm just going to click OK. And boom, everything comes into Flash on layers. Okay, and there's nothing on layer 1 here. No, or there is something on layer 1. Shadow 1, frame 1. Okay, nothing on layer 1. And I think I'll delete layer 1. And what I'm going to do now is notice they all came into Flash a lot like they were in Photoshop. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to highlight all my layers. And I'm going to try to distribute them to frames. So I'll hold down the Shift key and select all the layers. Notice that I click the bottom layer, let's say, and then scroll to the top, hold down my Shift key and click the top layer, and that selects all of the layers. So now I have all the keyframes selected. And now I'm going to say modify, let's see here, insert timeline. I want to find assistance. Okay, I'm not exactly sure where this is, so we have to search for it. I want to take layers to frames. I want to see if I can distribute these. Okay. Distribute to layers. Okay, that was distribute to layers. I want to go the opposite. Let's see. And I'm not finding it, so we'll have to figure that out in the next lesson. I'll cut off right here and figure this out, and so I don't waste your time, and we'll come back with one more movie.